Most children are content with stacking colorful blocks or spending the afternoon trading stickers. But Gumball Watterson plays in an entirely different league. A realm where logic shatters like thin glass and the laws of physics bend like clay in his turquoise fingers. While his classmates struggle to write without smudging ink, Gumball converses with forces that reshape the fabric of reality, causes hurricanes with his laughter, and debates the universe like a lenient teacher he can charm with a wink. Every step he takes seems to rewrite the very definition of what is possible. That's why we're diving deep into the 7 tiers of his power, levels that form a personal Mount Olympus, where Gumball isn't just a kid, he's a titan wearing a school uniform. In his normal state, just 1% of his total capacity, Gumball already performs feats that would make most superheroes from Sunday comics blush with inadequacy. Once, during a domestic mishap, he and Darwin were sucked into the plumbing system and re-emerged as droplets of water, fitting neatly inside a single water bottle, as if the concept of matter and volume had simply taken a day off. That kind of absurd plasticity suggests an intimate mastery over the structure of his own atoms. If he can liquefy himself and survive, what's stopping him from stretching infinitely, condensing into a pocket-sized version of himself, or floating through school corridors as a sentient mist? And yet, we've only grazed the surface of what he can truly do. At 5%, his absurdity mutates into full-blown grotesque brilliance. Gumball gains the ability to eat himself. Yes, literally consume his own body. A paradox of dimensional continuity that defies every known law of physics and anatomy. He chews his tail in an infinite loop of self-devouring nonsense, like a living Escher drawing, all while chatting casually with Darwin. After this impossible snack, he reappears unharmed and unfazed, reassembled by some unfathomable internal logic that biology can't explain. It's reminiscent of ancient deities who could swallow their essence and be reborn. But what's more shocking is Gumball's casual return to routine, like someone who just popped out to get a snack and came back with the secrets of the universe. Later, after accidentally ingesting his father's testosterone supplements instead of cereal, he undergoes yet another grotesque transformation. Muscles erupt like mountain ranges beneath his fur. His voice deepens to a seismic rumble, and Tina Rex, Elmore's reigning queen of brute force, ends up wrecked beneath his now godlike frame. Gumball, who has never been the brawniest character, somehow experiences 30 years of hormonal growth in 5 seconds. The power may be temporary, but the message is clear. Even an accident in the kitchen can trigger a biological hurricane in Gumball's cartoonish body. At 10%, Gumball acquires something not even most cosmic entities have, a device that controls reality itself. During a chaotic bus ride, his nemesis Rob first gets his hands on the remote, flipping time and rewriting existence, like a teenager skipping scenes on a DVD. Eventually, Gumball takes possession of it. With a simple click, he pauses the universe, rewinds life events, fast-forwards causality, and even rearranges subtitles. In this moment, he becomes the supreme architect of Elmore. But this power, while immense, is technically external. The remote is a tool, not an innate gift. That fact alone suggests that Gumball's true strength, the one baked into his DNA, goes even further. Which leads us to 25%, where things cross into full-on cosmic horror territory. In a desperate attempt to win over Penny's disapproving father, Mr. Fitzgerald, Gumball literally pulls out his DNA and modifies it mid-conversation. The boy edits his genetic code like it's a Google Doc. He shifts base pairs, swaps strands, and rewrites his own identity on the fly. And as a side effect, he accidentally summons monstrous mutated creatures that trail behind him like something out of a Lovecraftian fever dream. To change one's DNA should require supercomputers, biotech labs, and decades of research. But Gumball does it like he's swapping outfits, reminding us that he is a self-authoring organism, a being unconstrained by biology, species, or logic itself. At 50%, Gumball shatters another frontier. This time, speed. When Richard threatens to flush Darwin down the toilet, Gumball sprints with such force that the world around him grinds to a halt. Everything freezes. The wind, sound, even light itself slows to syrup. His scream alone cracks glass, and his movement suggests he's surpassed the speed of light, slipping into a relativistic state where time becomes molasses and the laws of causality begin to unravel. He exists in a moment suspended between seconds, and in that space, he saves the day without the universe even noticing. Time isn't just a river he swims against. It's a toy he can pause, rewind, and juggle. And it doesn't stop there. Later, we discover this time bending isn't a one-time trick. During a race against the clock to make it to school, a visible countdown appears in the sky. And when all hope is lost, Gumball crashes headfirst into the camera, and accidentally pauses all of time. He and Darwin play with this power like two kids discovering an abandoned amusement park. They leap through prehistoric epochs, visit apocalyptic futures, and accidentally create dozens of clones of themselves through endless temporal mistakes. Eventually, they patch reality back together with a joke about paradoxes. For Gumball, time isn't a path, it's a canvas. At 69%, Gumball's very words begin to reshape reality. Annoyed by Carmen's constant lectures, he unleashes a roast so intense that it generates shockwaves. His sarcasm doesn't just burn, it detonates. Seismic waves ripple through the world, books fly from shelves, bystanders stagger from the sheer linguistic force. He weaponizes rhetoric into an apocalyptic phenomenon. Carmen tries to hit him with social justice logic, but Gumball counters with meme-fueled martial arts of the mind, obliterating her arguments and igniting a social earthquake with nothing but the sharp edge of his wit. His voice becomes a bomb, his punchlines ballistic missiles of sass. And then there's the matter of the fourth wall. For most characters, it's an invisible prison. For Gumball, it's a revolving door. He stops background music mid-scene. He rearranges camera angles. He walks off his own show to barge into the Cartoon Network president's office and demands that water coolers be filled with ice cream and all commercials be replaced with fruitball tournaments every 15 minutes. He knows he's fictional, and that knowledge makes him unstoppable. He plays the metaverse like a violin, hopping between layers of storytelling, altering his own reality with the ease of a god flicking planets into orbit. And now, the climax. 100% power. The final form. The end game. In a mind-melting sequence, Gumball transforms into a full-blown anime character, going Super Saiyan with golden hair, roaring lightning, and cosmic fury. For context, Super Saiyan increases strength by 50x. Gumball doesn't stop there. He ascends to Super Saiyan 2, where energy flares like solar eruptions and power multiplies exponentially. Every fiber of his being becomes a thunderbolt wrapped in charisma. And if we follow Saiyan logic, that means every time he gets injured and survives, he comes back stronger through the infamous Zenkai boost, an infinite loop of self-enhancing evolution. So imagine Gumball fighting, failing, and returning, each time stronger, faster, more absurd than before. Eventually, he'd ascend beyond categories, beyond tiers, beyond power scales entirely. No chart could capture him. No number could quantify him. He would break the very concept of strength. And here's the wildest part. This isn't fan fiction. This is canon. All of it happens in the amazing world of Gumball, a show that laughs in the face of genre, shatters format, and hides one of the most terrifyingly powerful fictional characters behind a mischievous grin and a school uniform. In conclusion, measuring Gumball's strength is like trying to weigh laughter or map the shape of chaos. It's a beautiful, mind-bending impossibility. From melting into a water bottle to editing his own DNA, from roasting opponents into seismic submission to casually stepping outside of his narrative to negotiate programming changes with his network overlords, Gumball Watterson isn't just powerful. He is power in its purest, most surreal, and hilarious form. And maybe, just maybe, if one day he looks up past the screen, past us, and decides he's tired of being watched, we'll realize we were always just another episode in his show.